Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk
Let's
about
jump
the
right
machines,
into the AI
okay?
over here because this is another elephant in the room.
Number one, if you haven't read Whitney Webb's article on unlimitedhangout.com, you need to read it because you have to follow the money. You have to follow the connections. This is where it's at. So this AI software that's used to verify these mail-in ballots is tied to corporate Biden supporters, okay? That is the gist of it. So we're going to go through here. It is a lot, but I'm going to try to surmise it as best I can. But basically, this company that produces this verification software that's used in highly contested states, including Nevada, specifically the Clark County one, is tied to Lockheed Martin and Microsoft, and its founder has donated to Joe Biden, okay, and has been unfavorable to Trump. Now, Parascript is this company, and they have a long-standing history of cozy ties to the defense contractors. And Johnny, you can show these little pictures that I have there. And of course, like I said, Lockheed Martin and Microsoft, they are also a contractor to the U.S. Postal Service, okay? The founder, Stephen Pachikov, is better known for co-founding the app called Evernote in 2007 and is a long-standing donor to the Democratic presidential candidates, specifically in 2020. Now, this is from Reuters.com, and they said that at least 29 counties across 8 states, and they put this out on October of this year, used the artificial intelligence technology on mail-in ballots to ease the workload of staff enforcing voter signature
We saw
rolls.
this, right, Johnny?
Parascript, the maker of the software, declined. They declined when asked by journalists to identify users, but said they included 30 of the top 100 counties by registered voters. So the top most contested counties are being used. Were going to be used by this software. So here are the list of the users. Specifically, I'm going to point out California, Florida, and Nevada. Okay. And Reuters also reported that Clark County, Nevada, which is one of the hot spots.
Litigation.
Between Trump and Biden and fraud allegations right now, was the one that used the software. Like I said, they were able to do this on their own. They, like I said, they didn't, the company didn't want to specify which one, but this is the important part. Many counties had allowed the software to approve anywhere from 20 to 75% of mail ballots as acceptable. So that means that the machine would approve 20 to 75%. The rest, okay, the staff reviewed 1% or less of the AI software acceptances. The staff reviewed 1% or less. Do you know what that means, Pasta? Hold on, Johnny. Just Pasta, can you explain what that would mean?
That means that most of those ballots that went through are the signatures probably wouldn't be good. We couldn't verify them. We don't know.
Yep.
And we kind of saw these machines in work when we went to Pomona. Mm-hmm. And we're looking at and just to think about, these are part-time staffs that come in. They're really not passionate about stuff. And they were just kind of looking at a machine. They weren't really, these weren't going under scrutiny at all. They were just going through, and then getting sent to the machine. There was really no dispute on these things. And therefore, you can stuff a machine with all the ballots that don't have matching signatures. It's not vetted properly.
You're letting the AI software that hasn't been vetted decide that these signatures were all valid.
Yeah.
And only the staff is only reviewing 1%, if that. So
human eyes don't look it. It's just a machine, and that machine was made by somebody who's connected to the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Sam?
I mean,
no.
And it gets worse.
It
Sam.
should be okay.
It should be fine.
It should be all right.
We have fair, free elections.
Yes,
Let's fight for democracy.
Yeah.
So Kyle Wiggers is a journalist who covered the AI for Ventura Beat. He noted that the accuracy of these systems is believed to vary between 74 and 96%, but he also said we don't have benchmarks for the systems that are in use to verify signatures on these mail-in ballots. We basically have to go by what the manufacturers of the systems are telling us, which is that the systems are accurate. Okay, so let's go by what the police tell us. So, when they're bashing someone's head in, they do their own investigation. It's the same shit. What do you think? They're going to tell on themselves?
The corporations are going to tell you it's good because they want to sell their products. They want to get that money. In this situation in our elections, we had on Brent Turner who talked about it. He goes, listen, there's so many vendors. It's a corporate thing, and everybody's getting greased. Everybody's getting money. Everybody's getting handout. They have made a profit system off our elections, and they also use that system to maintain their control. And there's so many different ways, whether it's verifying the signatures, whether it's flipping the votes, whether it's just getting in fake ballots. There's so many different ways. We have systemic issues with our election system that need to be fixed yesterday.
This isn't the first time we talk about this, you guys. So this is the SignatureXpert verification software, okay? That's what it's called. Now, this software is used to verify your signature based on what's on your driver's license. Is basically they pull up your voter your license and they compare the signature on that, and that's what they're using. And it's supposed to be it's supposed to be accurate. They're saying the machine is advanced to take that low resolution and heighten it up. So that's what they're using. What they didn't say, however, is that most driver's license signatures are acquired via an electronic tablet or a signature pad, which often results in a very different signature than one written on a paper ballot. Okay, so they don't tell you that.
Hello?
This is
Hello?
what you have to pay attention to. Now, regarding the use of their new SignatureXpert software in the 2020 election, the company stated that the ASV, the automated signature verification, is used today in the vote-by-mail process of many states to provide solid assurances that each is treated fairly and thoroughly reviewed. For this election, some of the larger cities and counties in America are deploying ASV software from Parascript to assist their verification teams to produce accurate results. They're painting this as, we're going to take the load off from the poll people.
Why?
And we're gonna let the machine do the work.
Bullshit.
This is a great thing.
This is bullshit,
this
fam.
This is a great thing. No, this is great. They get to, take the load off and they get to do this. Okay. They also noted that the algorithm had yet to be verified for use on mail-in ballots.
Okay.
Again,
Here we
is
go.
not verified. We're using software that hasn't been vetted.
Verified. Or vetted.
But can you read this, Pasta?
But it attempted to obfuscate this fact.
Exactly. They refused to say that. They said that nope, there's no, they didn't want to kind of dwell on the fact that it hasn't been texted. Instead, they said in the case of Parascript, the answer is yes. The AI that powers SignatureXperts has been field proven in the banking industry for over a decade.
Got it.
So because it's been proven in the banking industry now, it's trusted to produce reliable voting results. States such as Oregon, Colorado, Washington, and Utah use it to ensure that every election is efficient, legitimate, and secure. Voters can also be assured knowing SignatureXpert is always used to assist, not replace, election officials. So there's no worry that the ASV bots will secretly throw the election. This is what they tell you. It's
bullshit.
assist? Yeah. They're not checking these ballots.
Yeah.
They're not checking all of them. They're barely checking like 1% of them.
Yeah, and they're keeping people away from looking at these ballots. That's what this lawsuit in Pennsylvania is that all these people who are certified to be poll counters and poll watchers, to go in there to look at these ballots were kept out. And so whatever the machine said was okay, they just pushed along. So no, there was no discrepancies. And the machine, machines don't cheat. People manipulating machines cheat.
Right.
So now you can have somebody on the back end say, just approve all the ballots for Joe Biden. The ones that are Donald Trump, let's kind of put those aside and dispute those later. You can easily do that. And when you're connected all the way up to the top, when it comes to the parties, like I said, it's a cartel. The Republicans and Democrats cheat in certain areas, so you have to look at the Secretary of State. Then you got to look at the contracts. Who has in the counties? Or, who has the contracts with these counties? Who's the friendly? And therefore, you can find motives. Who's going to cheat?
Exactly. All right. So just furthermore, they said that that's the statement that several states use the software to, quote, ensure that every election is efficient, legitimate, and secure, omits the fact, thank you, Whitney Webb, that the version of the SignatureXpert to be used on mail-in ballots was not announced until this May and had yet to be tested for mail-in ballots, having only been previously used in Colorado to verify signatures on petitions. In addition, that claim that SignatureXpert only assists and does not replace election officials varies by county, as we said before, as each county decides if there is human oversight and to what extent. As previously mentioned, Reuters found that several counties only have humans review 1% or less of ballots accepted by the software. You guys, we're not making this up. These are the lines here. 1%. And so
you can 1%.
1%. So
1%. One
of the clients, and this is where it gets even worse, because one of the clients of Parascript has been the U.S. Postal Service. Since 2011, they have provided the USPS with automated and bundled mail sorting equipment. And this equipment is used to has optical character recognition, or an OCR technology. Okay, so in addition to their contracts with the United States Postal Service, they're also partnered with another major contractor that we mentioned before, Lockheed Martin. Okay, who is best known as, the weapons manufacturer. That's a great partner you have, and of course part of the military industrial complex. And they have also used them for the remote computer reader system. And through this partnership, they have also, the software has been a component of the USPS's automated mail sorting process since 2013. Now, Brittany...
2003.
2003. So Whitney also brought up this old article from this website. If you go to, I think it's right here. Parascript receives Star Supplier Award from Lockheed Martin. So they're actually awarding these people for their company. So this company, the Parascript, the image analysis and pattern recognition technology provider, was awarded the Star Supplier Award by Lockheed Martin for its performance and contribution to the success. Here it is, the success of the United States Postal Service Remote Computer Reader, RCR, system. This recognizes that Parascript's achievements in working with Lockheed Martin and meeting some of the most stringent performance criteria in the mail processing industry. This is a kind of shit that they use to completely say, well, this is verified, this is tested, we use it all the time. You use it for your own special interest. Of course, it's going to be vetted for that.
Can I say something too as well? This 1% shit is just driving me crazy. Because Johnny now leads Pasta as far as being thrown out of audits. Johnny got thrown out of the 1% audit the other day in California, so now he's got 2 times. We both got thrown out in Florida, whatnot, and stuff. But this is the thing that just drives me crazy, because with the tabulation machines that count these ballots, we then get in Los Angeles a 1% audit. You can't find anything out. Now, it's okay if you're saying you're going to use the tabulation machines, and then after you're going to do a 100% audit to make sure they match up. Same thing with the signatures. They're doing the same thing. Oh, these signatures go through, these ballots are good, but then you can only inspect 1%.
If that.
I mean, that's ridiculous. If you're going to send them all through, you got to make sure then the team of people, you got Republicans, Democrats, Independents standing there, and everybody goes around the table, and they make sure every single ballot is okay. Well, that will take too much time. That's too much work. Bullshit. This is our democracy. This is our elections. We need more than a 1% audit. We need a 100% audit. Same thing goes for the signatures. And this is why we have to get away from a mail-in system that is that broad. We can use the mail-in system for certain reasons if it's going to be tracking involved. But, showing up to vote, once again, it's a lot harder.
It should be a holiday then. Make
a holiday.
Make it
should be on Monday, a 2-day holiday. Yep. So you can vote Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There's 4 days for the whole nation to vote. You get the weekend off, and then you got Monday and Tuesday or holidays.
Make a party out of it.
There you go. Let's open up Dodger Stadium. Let's try to where it's casted, let's count it. We can make these elections great.
Put it on live TV.
Yeah, we could do everything. We could do everything. We can make these elections sound as can be. But they don't want it to do that. They don't want to. Back to Whitney Webb.
Yeah, so, Lockheed Martin is also one of the leading investors of this intelligence-linked cybersecurity.
Here we go again.
From Cyber Reason, okay? For well over a year, they have simulated various chaotic scenarios for the 2020 U.S. election. This is like scary shit right here. So their various simulations ended with Americans' faith in the electoral process being utterly destroyed and subsequent declarations of martial law. That's one of their scenarios, which, it appears right there. Despite Cyber Season's clear and enduring ties with the intelligence apparatus of a foreign power, aka Israel, with the history of using backdoors and software to spy on the U.S. government, Lockheed Martin has served as a key conduit that allowed Cyber Season's cybersecurity software to gain access to some of the United States' most classified systems. Okay,
ooh, baby, deep state in our elections.
They donated heavily to both candidates, but gave nearly 27,000 more to Biden than to Trump. Just pointing that out there, and that's just Lockheed, because the others are even worse. So, Parascript, of course, has also partnered with this other agency called Pitney Bowes, which is a private work-share partner, and it sorts and processes an estimated 15 billion pieces of mail annually on behalf of the United States Postal Service. And they're also one of the leading companies that has pushed for the privatization of the United States Postal Service. So that is something important, because everybody wanted to point out about Trump. This has been, the USPC has been, for decades, decades under attack.
Yeah.
By these private entities.
2009, like I said, they signed a bill, Democrats and Republicans, that forced the USPS to have 75 years of liquidity in the bank for their retirement pensions. So mainly, they were putting money in the bank for people that weren't working for them yet, or people that weren't even born yet. It's like, by doing so, every year since that bill was signed, they have to cut. The Democrats are just as responsible. That's why when they started attacking the post office, it was a red flag. Like, they're showing me their cards again, fam. Yeah. They're going to go after this with the mail-ins. Yep. Exactly. They're trying to cause... They're going to go in with the mail-ins.
And so, another one, so they're also a partner... It just gets worse. Of Hewlett-Packard, the company with close ties to the CIA and its venture capital arm In-Q-Tel, particularly under the leadership of Carly Fiorina. And this is, like she said, it's an open secret. I mean, it's out there, but people don't know about it. Parascript is also a partner, of course, apart from Hewlett-Packard. They're partnered with IBM. And just last year, the CIA hired IBM Federal Vice President Juliana Galina to serve as the intelligence agency's chief information officer. So we have a bunch of spooks running our elections. But hey, democracy. Yeah. It's democratic.
Ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about. This is a Trump conspiracy. Our elections are some of the finest in the world. When people say that, how aggravated does it get you, Johnny, when people say some of our elections are the finest in the world?
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we all know this. we're working with election integrity activists every day. We've had everybody on the show, from Rebecca Mercury to Breaky to Tim Canova to Raji Robb. I mean, we talk to everybody involved in this stuff who's been looking to this stuff. I have other sources I can't even mention. Okay, we talk to election integrity activists. We understand. Johnny has had the contract from K&H. Yep. He understands how the machine works. This is utter fucking insanity, ladies and gentlemen. 1% you're going to check with the human eye, 1% with the signatures. Not only the audits for the votes counted 1%, now the signatures are 1%. How can you not say this is not an open door for fraud? And all you idiots out there that are not following this, that are just moving on like nothing happens, you're to blame too. You're being stupid here. This is the story. This election is not over. Donald Trump's not going to roll over and say, thank you for screwing me up the ass like Bernie Sanders did, okay? He's going to fight tooth and nail, and he has every right to. And if it's Donald Trump that's going to pull the curtain back and show us the Wizard of Oz, which is our dirty, disgusting elections, then so be it. We need it. I'm
not even that optimistic, because once that happens, everybody on both sides are going to be exposed. And that's something that they're not going to let
But he
happen.
doesn't have ties to that Republican Party from years ago.
No,
he hates the Bushes. You know what I'm saying? Once again, he doesn't have ties from way back, ladies and gentlemen. He wasn't a politician, so he doesn't care about blowing this shit up.
I think
there's a lot of Republicans, though, that are dirty, though.
Stop him, yeah. So in addition, IBM, of course, is also one of 4 sponsors of...
There you go.
I'm sorry. The Center for Presidential Transition, which issued a statement on Sunday, November 8th, urging that President Donald Trump concede to his rival Joe Biden. IBM had previously sponsored Biden's cancer initiative for the Department of Veterans Affairs when he was vice president. And this election cycle donated $640,801 to Joe Biden, compared to $139,373.
5-to-1 ratio. 5-to-1 ratio.
So, yes, there's nothing there.
Nothing
there
to see here. Move along. Well, nothing to see here.
Just Microsoft, though. Microsoft executives have also shown obvious support for Biden during this election, with nearly $2 million donated to him in his bid to oust Trump. In addition, the wife of former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer donated the maximum amount for an individual to the Joe Biden campaign. You guys can find this in Open Secrets. While Microsoft's current president, Brad Smith, hosted a fundraiser for Biden, and the Microsoft Chief Technology Officer, Kevin Scott, also donated over $50,000 to support Biden's election efforts. And Reid Hoffman, the LinkedIn founder who sits on the Microsoft board, was one of Biden's largest donors in this cycle, funneling over $500,000 to Biden, the DNC, and related PACs. They have also donated to the RNC, but those donations were dwarfed by the amount donated to the DNC and Joe Biden.
So you're saying that these people right here who control our election systems, as far as the verification of our ballots, the signatures, have close ties, money ties to Joe Biden, and now they want Joe Biden.
They want Trump to drop out.
They asked Donald Trump to concede, and despite that, the issues that we've had with these ballots. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to say here. Are you guys grasping this? What's going on? The corporations, the military-industrial complex, they're trying to control our democracy here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not fighting for Donald Trump. I'm not.
Costa, it's not a giant conspiracy. Come on.
Well, I'm not fighting for Donald Trump, and I'm not picking a team. I'm picking a side.
Stop spewing conspiracy.
Side between right and wrong. And the main thing is we need to get our elections straight. We've been talking about this. These elections are awful.
This is reality. Awful. You live in a conspiracy world where you think you have democratic elections. That's conspiracy. Yeah. This is reality. Yeah. We're living in reality. We're living here. You're living in a world where you think that your little vote there and you get to decide who becomes president. No, you don't. We haven't decided who becomes president since like 1963. Like, let's be real here.
If that.
Let's be real.
Since Lincoln.
Yeah, well.
I mean, really, to tell you the truth, I mean, like, you think that Debbie Wasserman Schultz gets all those votes? You think she gets those all the time? And she's the most hated person across the board. The Democrats hate her, but yet she wins every single election, right? And stuff. And then the same issues over there. So, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, you got to wake up to what's going on. We were talking this.
It's hard,
this is not about Donald Trump, though. This is about progressives getting screwed. This is about Bernie Sanders getting screwed. This is about every single down ballot progressive that has a chance to win doesn't win.
This is even beyond that for me. This is, are we fighting the system or are we just buckling down to it, right? Yeah. This is the oligarchy we're fighting. These are the nefarious institutions. What, did you think it was just like a few people in the Democratic Party that are assholes, a few people in the Republican Party that are assholes? No, this is bigger than them. They're just freaking representatives. They're not. It's the powerful institutions that move and shake the system. If you think that you can just pretend that that happened, that Joe Biden just won the election, that they didn't manipulate at every single turn, from the mainstream media manipulations, the way they were reporting, from the censorship of Twitter, big tech, Facebook, for YouTube, all of this. You think you can just manipulate like that blatantly, even that alone? And then you add the elections to it and you want to pretend that you're saving democracy, that Donald Trump is going to push a coup? What? You can't push a coup when there's already been a coup, when they literally cheated Bernie Sanders, as we just showed you, in one state. Okay, we're not going to go back and show you every state, but he was at every state. Yeah. Yes, it happened. Yeah. Like, you
and
can't
they call him early too, fam, right? How the way they call him early, it's just the manipulation, the propaganda. Yep. They called him so early. Oh no, Joe Biden's got this in the bag. We have the information. Just trust us, whatnot. But yet they're holding on to 90-something% for Wisconsin and Michigan, and the networks are doing that. So the networks are in on it. They understand what the fuck's going on.
They're in on it. They're getting paid millions of dollars. They're propaganda. They're not journalists. You what? You trust the AP because why? Because you've been told to trust the AP. Yeah. You've been told to trust the New York Times. You've been told to trust CNN. They're
MSNBC now you guys are trusting them.
You see Fox? You couldn't even rely on Fox. Why? Yeah. Because who owns Fox? That's
Rupert
what you
Murdoch
gotta know.
hates. Yeah, I mean, it's just, listen, Jordan Allen says zero election integrity equals not a free country. Full stop. Thank you for that super chat contribution. There was also the Natural Progressive who left a sticker. Thank you so much. And I just want to read this real quick. I know you got another statement, but this is from one of my favorite people out there, the Italian Stallion. How you doing? What's scary to me is how many people are accepting this.
Yeah.
It's like in Star Wars. It's when people cheered Palpatine defeating Dooku all the way to losing the Republic. Yep. It's just depressing. Italian Stein, I'm sorry if I stumbled on some of those words, but yeah, this is disgusting the way people are just accepting this.
It is.
And we understood there was a lot of but Trump people out there. I thought those were more like establishment Democrats. Apparently. I at least expected the neo-progressives who bought into this whole shit to say, listen, I know we were mitigating damage over here by voting for Biden, but this is bullshit. Yeah, this is bullshit.
No.
I mean, this is not hard to catch. We were sitting there late at night. I couldn't believe it. Like, remember, fam, I was knocked on. I said, fam, they're going to call Wisconsin for Trump any second right now. He's got way too much of a lead.
They said it.
And then Cuomo. Oh, wait a second. Biden's got the lead.
Yep.
Biden's got the lead. They're talking like 113,000 vote jump.
Yep.
Like that.
Just like that.
Like that. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't happen. That's a mathematical anomaly.
Yep.
And that's what that is. And if there's all these mathematical anomalies, all these witnesses, there's evidence. You might not believe in the evidence, but let's at least hear the evidence. Let's see the evidence.
You're not even allowing that to happen.
You're not. You're trying to shun this shit away.
Yep.
And that's the scary part. And you call
other
yourself.
People showing you what's actually happened. None of us here voted for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. None of us. But the people who voted for Joe Biden are so invested in making sure to tell you that everything is fine. It's like the dog on the chair with the house burning. Everything's fine, you guys. No, it's not. Nothing is fine right now.
Yeah. And thank you to everybody over on the Rokfin, Robin Gibson, Carrie Mark, Corin William, Fred Edwards. We love you.
Especially now, where we're like, I mean, we're just being maligned for telling the truth.
Yeah. All right, next one. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so CISA, which is something that Whitney Webb has talked about on multiple podcasts, but especially on the Last American Vagabond who was shut down from YouTube. They are basically a cybersecurity and infrastructure agency. That's their name. And they're headed by this guy named Chris Krebs. And he was the top Microsoft executive before taking on his current role. And CISA in the 2020 elections had major representatives from Silicon Valley, including Google, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as unspecified, quote, election technology, unquote, companies. You guys saw how they started censoring anything to do with Trump or anything to do that made Joe Biden look like a terrible candidate. And they've also, of course, worked for eBay billionaire Pierre Omidyar, who is a completely pro-Democrat, big guy founder.
You know who else funded first?
Obama.
No. But Pierre also funded TYT at one point.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
That was before the Katzenberg check.
So quickly, I just want to read Whitney Webb's this particular thing she said right over here. That I didn't get a chance to discuss this article, but she says in these last two tweets, in a recent post, the company stated, no matter which candidate wins the 2020 election, the voting process will have changed forever. AI such that provided by Parascript will become more commonplace in the never-ending battle to keep our elections safe and secure from fraud. She said Microsoft partnered with Parascript is now saying that ElectionGuard software will be used in the 2024 presidential election and presumably all subsequent elections. Good luck ever electing a populist from the left or the right if that comes to pass.
Microsoft has been greasing the wheels. Microsoft has been greasing the wheels for a long fucking time. Where our elections are owned by corporate entities and they're manipulated by the legislation, by the Democrats or the Republicans. It depends where it's at. This time the Democrats use the coronavirus to make sure that they can fucking flood the market with all these mail-in ballots so they can cheat this election. And boy, did they do that. I mean, when we saw it late at night, remember, we were calling this, like, okay, there's no way that Donald Trump can lose this shit right now. Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, it's way out of reach. But then late in the still of the night, here comes all these ballots in. And you got idiots like Bernie Sanders talking to Peter, what's his name? Peter Fallon? Not Peter Fallon. Jimmy Fallon, who won't push back. What you're going to see is that Donald Trump's going to have the lead. And then later on, a couple days later, Joe Biden will then take the lead. No, it doesn't work that way. Johnny and I went and looked, okay? We went to Pomona. We saw the processing with the mail-in ballots. 1 million have been processed. They already went through the machine, okay?
Yep.
By the time the election started, 2 million mail-in ballots had already been through that machine. They mainly count your mail-ins first. The majority of the mail-ins will be counted first. It's one thing if Donald Trump was up by 5,000 votes and you have some mail-ins come in to catch him. Not 100,000, ladies and gentlemen.
It was even more than that. In Pennsylvania, it was like 700,000.
It was 750,000, and once eventually it ran them down. That doesn't happen. Yeah. That's a mathematical anomaly.
And just the last thing to finish this up. So the CISA director advocated for the Microsoft controversial ElectionGuard software, like she mentioned, and this was co-developed by Microsoft and Galois, which is another cybersecurity contractor for the security state, whose only investors are the Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency at DARPA. And DARPA, of course, is something you should look up, but Whitney Webb has talked about it in countless terms. I mean, I'm talking about like crazy, like Terminator shit right here. This is not anything. This is what's happening right now. And our elections are directly controlled by these cybersecurity agencies, intelligence state. They're controlled by spooks on the CIA. And they all fund the Democratic Party. I mean, they fund the Republican Party too, just not as much in this election, right? It depends. Yeah. But like, what I am saying is, you do not control, we, the people, do not control our elections.
That's the most important thing.
To question this election is the minimal that you could do based on every single thing we've just shown you and much more that we haven't even gotten to.